Hi, I'm Paula D'Andrea, and I'd like to ask you how you can be grounded more in your truth. That is the question of the day, and it originated with the Matrix red pill, blue pill option, and I'm sure that many of you are familiar with that movie where one of the main characters, Neo, he kind of figures out what the Matrix is doing, and he is presented with an option by another main character called Morpheus, who, I'm going to read this directly for you, says, "This is your last chance. After this, there's no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes." So this brings you to your truth. How are you living your life? And what are some of the things that you could do to change your life if you feel that you would like to be more in alignment with what your truth is, how you really feel you should be living your life, and how to release some of the things in your life. So I'm going to cover some of the three keys that that you can use to get a little bit more grounded in your life. And the first one is really just in facing up to your life. And there's a lot of people who have a hard time doing that. I found in my work as a transformation specialist that a lot of people really get stuck on that. First of all, they're stuck in an area in their life that they've been stuck in for a very long time. And to be able to really kind of be able to clearly see the cycles that they've created in their lives and say, okay, this is an issue that I've been dealing with over and over again, and I just really can't see how to put the picture together, connect the dots, so to speak. So this is really a way to be able to do that. One of the things that I do when I help people get unstuck is in facing up to the truth is to use what I call a true confession. And with the true confession, it really is, it's a little bit playful, and it allows people that space that they can step into, that when they're looking at an issue that has a lot of pain associated to it, whether it be emotional or physical, there's a lot of fear attached to it, there is sabotage. This is something so big that somebody feels like they really effed up, like it may have cost them a job, it could have cost them their home, it could have cost them the love of their life, anything that may have compromised their life in any way, their health, their relationships, their finances. These are big things, and they hold a lot of gravity, and what happens is that then it kind of like, gets over your head, it's hanging over someone's head, and, people looking for resolution, they really want to get out of that story that has become larger than life. And so this first key of facing it, to use a true confession, is to do just that, to be able to call yourself out, to kind of call yourself on your BS. And it has loomed larger than life for so many people. It's actually why I created a whole separate coaching package around it, so that people can just step into that aspect of their life, to be able to have that free space, to be supported, to be coached, to be guided, to be able to recognize what it is that has really gotten in their way. And if you want more information on that, then you can contact me at pauladandrea.com. I'd be happy to share that with you. For right now, as we talk about what it means to just come clean and be honest with yourself, to get yourself into this space of being able to look at your situation, look at yourself without shame and without blame. I mean, I think that's half the battle, because so many people struggle with just that there's so much built up around whatever the issue is that they're dealing with, that it's gone from this one little aspect into this huge thing. It's kind of like, remember that game you played as a kid? I want to say it's called Tattletale or something like that, but it's basically is that if you're sitting in a group of, let's say, 6 to 8 people, and I would start off and I would say, that red dress is really fantastic, and whisper that to the next person. By the time it gets back around and it's gone through 8 people, it's gone into like that dress got torn to pieces or something silly like that. It just gets so distorted, but it's a simple example of how, you know, your perception of something can get distorted until you really just step in, face it, call it as it is now, because right now your perception has been of whenever the event happened, whatever it was. That it might have been a life crisis that you were going through. You could have had an accident, or gone through a divorce, maybe the loss of a loved one. Even in that, you find your life is completely different. You're going through a job transition or an empty nest where your role has completely switched, and you're kind of going like, what is my truth? Who am I at this point in my life? So it's just about meeting yourself where you are right now so that you can totally just get into that space, acknowledge what it is that you see as your problem, or that may have gotten even larger than that, that you're sabotaging yourself with. You have a lot of negative self-talk around that has, again, just compromised you on different levels. Maybe your health, maybe you're isolating yourself, your self-care may have slipped to an all-time low. Any of those things. And, you know, more than anything, when someone comes to me to meet me on this part of their journey, they just want to feel good about themselves. They want to just, you know, basically tear this albatross off their neck that they've been dealing with for so long, to be able to just free themselves up and go forward. So that is that first key, is being able to get yourself to that point where you can just totally face the facts. Put it all out on the table, the good, the bad, and the ugly, all of your flaws, all of your imperfections, whatever you think that they may be, that they really aren't. It's been, just this perception that you've had, and then you feel that everyone else around you has that. Most people don't even understand. They're quite honestly not always as concerned as you are about things, and what you're thinking other people are thinking, they're totally not. So do yourself the favor of getting in this space, calling yourself on your BS, giving yourself that time to have a true confession. Say the things that have been just, you know, building up for a really long time that you haven't even said to yourself, let alone anybody else. And there's just all this stuff is swimming inside of you. It's like just clinging to the insides of you, like in every cell. And it's really suffocating you. It's stopping you from living your life, from having the things that you really want, like the love of your life, or a great career, travel, family, whatever it may be, whatever it is that lies in your heart that you dream about, and then this other thing looms over it. Now's the time to just clear it away, don't you think? Again, if you'd like my help, you can contact me, Paula at pauladandrea.com, and I'd be happy to point you in the next direction of how we can connect and start give you some options about what you can do to get yourself into that space where you're able to face it, have your true confession, so that then you can get into your next key. So key number 2 is to be able to embrace it. Once you've said it and you've put it out there, first of all, that's just like, wow, that's such a relief. I always see people, you know, every dynamic, they're going through their own matrix. It's just like, all these things just line up where all of a sudden they're able to see, wow, this is what I've been doing. I can't believe it. What took me so long is usually what it is. It doesn't matter. Everything comes in its own grace and in its own time. So wherever you are right now, at whatever shape you're in, you know, just accept it. And now get into that second key. Embrace it. So this goes the same of, you know, just meeting yourself where you are. To embrace who you are. All of the stuff, as we like to call it, right? All that story, that hot mess, as I also refer to it as well, where you're able to now kind of give yourself that bird's eye perspective, where you can kind of be up here a little bit and looking down and going, because you're not so tied into it. You don't have all that story and drama and, you know, emotion that has been clouding your perception for so long that you know, it really does allow you to just free yourself up. You know, really is the best that I can say is that it allows you to free yourself up when you're able to face it, and now you get into the place where you have that freedom and you're able to integrate it. So you can look and say, well, okay, well, this is how this served me. And I can take this part of it, and I'm really happy that I've had this adversity, or I have had the opportunity to experience this, because it really does make you stronger in who you are. That it brings you back into an alignment, allows you to be able to connect and just integrate all the parts of you. Again, the good, the bad, the ugly, however you're looking at it, please look at it as an advantage and look at it as you, because these are your experiences. And granted, there may be some that really weren't pleasant. You know, I've had them too, and I fully understand that, and I respect it. And the thing is that there comes a point where you just have to tell the truth. You have to get into this place where you ground yourself so that you can go forward. That letting go of being able to face up to it, to embrace it, and brings us into our third key, which is to rock it. This is now you're going to own it. You're really going to own who you are. You're back in your power, and you are ready to say, boom, no more. This has held me back long enough. I'm going to be free of my limitations. I'm going to be able to use this hot mess that I created as a fuel source for my life, rather than something that has blocked me or held me back, kept me stuck. So now it's about, okay, I have better boundaries about around my emotions. I understand my situation and my story better, and I've made it a part of me without having that charge, so that I can talk about it and actually maybe help somebody else. And every time that you help somebody else, it strengthens you. That's what rocking your life is all about. It's about celebrating you and all that you are, about being able to bring the best parts of you to the surface. And this does include some of these truths that you've had that you just think people would just totally run away if they ever heard. Well, let me tell you, there's a lot of people out there who have a lot of the same stories, probably even worse than what you have. And when you're able to look at it out of the space of being in it and give it the objectivity that it really deserves, you'll find that it's just another part of you, to give you the freedom to get out there and rock your life, to make that transformation that you really wanted, to be living your life as you thought that you should, without this thing to hold you back. That's as good as it gets. So I want to be able to get you into that space where you're really out of all influences, where you're living life on your terms and free from any of the limiting beliefs that you've had in the past. So you really are, you know, in that space where you trust yourself, you value yourself, and you're just really confident about who you are, what you're made of, where you came from, all of that kind of stuff. And get out there and share it with the rest of the world, because the rest of the world is waiting for you. And they've been waiting for you for a long time, longer than you could have imagined. It's what I like to call adding to the hum of the world. And you do have a special part in that. The thing is that you have to get to your truth, know the consequences of what they are, and now you're at a choice. You can make a decision to be at cause in your life, to own what you've experienced up until now, whether it be good or you deem it good or bad, and make that part of you really integrated into who you are, so that you can go forward and enjoy your life. Really get out there and rock it. So I'd like to open up if there's anybody else that wants to jump in and has a question or a comment. Now is the time to do it. And I know there's a couple of people that are live on the call, and it may be, and apologize if I set anything up on here that may have muted you or done something funky. I apologize in advance. I'm going to go ahead and take a peek too in my chat and see if there's anything coming up in through that way. So I want you to play with this just a little bit and give yourself your own time off the clock to maybe sit down and either write or record and really get into something that has been nagging at you for a while, that you go like, you know, you feel that intuitively that you know, it wasn't really right. It's something that, you know, has been kind of bugging you for a while. This one little thing, it could be small or it could be something really big. And just let it surface. Play with it a little bit. Give yourself that levity to get into a true confession and stomp and stamp and rant and rave and really just go all out. Do your own monologue so that you start to let some of this stuff surface so that it isn't holding you back anymore. I'm Paula D'Andrea from pauladandrea.com and rockyourlife.tv. I invite you to join me every Monday for Motivation Monday and on Thursdays for Rock Your Life TV. Great messages and really giving you just a little bit of an edge and a different outlook on your personal development. You can also get a hold of my new fit guide at pauladandrea.com/RYLTV. And that is a free gift from me to you, and it'll also get you onto my VIP guest list so that you can get into more hangouts like this and also enjoy the other opportunities that I have to offer, whether they be for myself or some of my colleagues. I'd love to have you join me, and I thank you very much for watching now and being with me. Take care.